Well, good morning, everyone. Hello, it's Linda Jordan with the LRJ Coaching and Business Solutions. Hope everyone is having a great Wednesday morning. It is 11 a.m. and normally you would see me at 12 noon, but today I have a special guest that I know that you all will totally enjoy, and her name is Millen Livis, and she's going to talk to us about the pathway to financial independence. So before I get started, I will introduce Millen and then she'll tell you a little bit more about her. So Millen Livis is a financial independence mentor, best-selling author, investor, and most importantly, she's an entrepreneur. She helps women become financially independent and retire early. And I know all of us want to do that, but retire early so that they can enjoy more choices and personal freedom. Millen is a graduate of the acclaimed Wharton Business School, holder of a master's degree in physics, which I didn't know, that's quite interesting. A certified instant miracle energy healer. I want to hear more about that. Millen combines her traditional and holistic education to help professional women make their money work for them. And don't we all need that? And she'll do that using her proprietary Millionaire Method, which is a holistic system for creating financial independence. When you work with Millen, clients make better financial decisions, plan and invest money strategically, create multiple passive streams of income, and we all need that. And she does that so that they can do, buy, and save what they want and not have to worry about money anymore. And don't we all want to be in that particular bubble so we don't have to worry about money anymore? So welcome, Millen Livis. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your invite, and it's my pleasure to have this opportunity to talk to you and to your audience. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's my pleasure to have you here. So I'm really excited because I want to learn just as much as the audience does today.
So fire up. Just ask me anything.
Yeah, so first of all, you can tell a little bit more about yourself and how you got started in this fabulous business.
Well, it's a long story, but let me make it really short. So
Okay.
I'm actually first generation immigrant in the United States. I came from Lithuania over 30 years ago. And when I came, I didn't even speak English. So I started as a florist assistant, even though I had a master degree in physics. So I was educated, but I couldn't work. So within a year, I self-taught English. And my first job was being a consultant, IT consultant for Merrill Lynch. And from there, I climbed the corporate ladder, became an executive, worked for major Wall Street companies. And, it seems like my career was just clear like a glass of water. Yet, at some point, it's never works the way we expect, right? So
right,
I was living American dream. I had a family, I had a house in suburbs, right? I work on Wall Street. Like, what else I could possibly want? And guess what? I did want something else, because at some point, this job, this work, this kind of work didn't have meaning to me anymore. So I started looking, like, I remember one day looking at the computer screen and saying, like, I'm wasting my life. It's not what I want to do in my life. And I was searching for something. So I decided, because I wasn't sure what to do, I decided to go to a business school, right? So that's what corporate people do. They continue their education. So I went to Wharton Business School, and I graduated, and I didn't want to go back to corporate. I didn't feel like it's the kind of work that I want to do. That's why I went to Wharton in the first place, right?
Okay.
So and at the same time, so I was searching for my soul, if you want. And at the same time, my marriage fell apart. So I walked out of my marriage. So basically, I decided to dare and change my life, and I did. Yeah. And guess what? My parachute did not open right away. right? I hit the ground really badly. Well, I realized that I really want to be financially independent. Like one of my core values, in addition to integrity, is freedom. I wanted to experience freedom in my life more than anything else. So I started thinking, what can I do? I already knew how to invest in the stock market because I worked for years on Wall Street. And I decided that I want to learn how to invest in real estate. And I know that you're in this field as well.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do, I decided to start investment company. And because my, I knew people who knew me well enough to become my business partners. So they trusted me. We joined forces, and I wasn't really exactly knowing what I was doing. So I bought some properties. I did a lot of actions and stuff like that. And then 2008 happened.
Yeah.
And boy, it was tough. So my business partner said, "We don't want it anymore. Give us money back." And I was like, "I cannot sell right now. It's not the right time to sell." I was scared. It's because I had a team who I worked with. I had to let go of my team. I was broke. I was driving to one of my clients, got into a serious car accident, injured my neck, became really, really, I was in pain, and I became really, really depressed. So depressed that I was like, I'm such a failure. What's the point to go on? And I was alone because I divorced. My family kind of dishonored me because they didn't like that I was basically making these crazy decisions. And and I was really in a very dark place. And then I met a life coach who helped me to see things differently, to shift my perception of success, to shift my self-image, and what is possible for me. And from this point on, my life started to really change fairly quickly. I became certified yoga instructor. I became certified meditation instructor. I really turned like 180 degrees from being very corporate to being very, very conscious and spiritual. So I'm rooted in spirituality. And so at some point, I forgot to mention that then I met my second husband. So that's besides the point.
But my second husband.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that I actually became financially independent within 7 years from being what I call below zero. So that's why I feel like it's so important for many women to know that it's not impossible dream. It is possible dream.
It's possible,
right? Yeah. And so I decided at some point to write my books because I felt like I'm pregnant with this information. I need to give it because I never, just imagine someone who never considered herself as an author. For God's sake, I didn't speak English when I came to the States 30 years ago. And I started writing because I couldn't not to. So that's how I published my books. My first book was A Shift Toward Purpose, Secrets to an Amazing Career, where I talk about my transition from corporate to entrepreneurial life. And then a year later, I published A Shift Toward Abundance, Secrets to Financial Freedom, because that's what I created in my life. And I was like, I just wanted to give this information away. And then later on, I just felt like, well, people read books and they don't do anything.
That's true.
And I'm so passionate about this. You probably could feel it because I see so many women who don't believe that it's possible for them. There are reasons why we feel this way. Why so many women have this disconnect. It's like, it's possible for her, it's possible for him, but for me, who am I? Right. So a lot of women feel that way. So guess what? I decided to be financial independence mentor for professional women. And that's what I do. Then the way I teach, I basically reverse engineered how I got to achieving my goals in life, right? How I became financially independent. And I created what I call the Millionaire Method. Not millionaire, but the Millionaire Method, playing off a little bit of my name.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach. And that's my system to become financially independent.
Wow.
That's what I use when I work with my clients. Yes.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I was going to ask you what drives you, but you've kind of shared all of that, what really drives you. And it's just amazing that, you came to this country and you couldn't speak English. And now look at you. You've done some fabulous things. And now you have the opportunity to help other women who already speak English be able to get at that same level with you. And to me, that's just fascinating to know that you have that skill set and that ability to help other women. So hopefully the people that are listening to understand, where you're coming from, and also to know that it's possible. It's really possible for them to take take where they're at to the next level, and because it's just amazing. So you have a fascinating story. So thank you so much for sharing that. So you've indicated that you've been independent for over 10 years now, and that's amazing. So what made you want to be a financial independence mentor for women instead of spending time in your beautiful villa in the south of France?
That's a good question, actually. You know what? That's what my husband is asking me quite often. Like, why are you doing this? So, sometimes it's a very good question, seriously, because sometimes it's not so much about what we get, but it's about what we give. Just like with my books, I wrote my books not because I wanted to be famous. Honestly, I don't really care about this. I wrote because I could not to write.
Right.
And for me, this kind of work, I do it not because, almost like not because I want to. It's like I cannot not do it, right? It's
Right.
like there is some engine, some purpose that is driving me that I would say is bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, maybe it's a little bit woo-woo explanation, but that's my explanation.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, most people would say, hey, I'd rather be in the south of France, but you really want to make sure that you help other women. And to me, that's very honorable. And I applaud you in doing that, because oftentimes women get to a certain level and, they forget about where they came from and they don't want to help other women. And so I think that's lovely that you're able to do that. So the next question is, different people have different definitions of financial freedom. So what is yours? What does that mean to you?
Well, for me, financial freedom is a ticket to having life without financial stress. Life when you can choose what you do, where you live. Like, I live in 2 countries, as you know, right?
Yeah.
Where you live, what you buy, who you work with, who you live with.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of women are stuck at the jobs that they hate because they're not sure they can support themselves, that they can create financial independence. But more than that, worse than that, a lot of women are stuck in a relationship that is not working for them because they're afraid that they cannot support themselves. And guess how I know that? I was this woman, right? So
Yeah.
I often say I teach what I experienced, what I live, because everything that I see in my clients, in women who I come across with, I see elements of me.
Right.
I am this common woman that had this experience. I was stuck at the job that didn't feel my soul. I was stuck in a marriage that didn't have love for a long time, and I was afraid to change. And guess why?
Yeah.
I called my company Dare to Change Life.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Well,
That's why.
that's yeah. I love that definition. And to tag on to that, women that are in corporate America or people that want to start a business, one of the things they struggle with is, yes, I have this great idea, but I don't know what to do next, or I don't have the money to do it. So what do you say to those people that are in that bucket of trying to figure out their next steps, but they don't have the means to go to that next step? So they feel like they're caught in corporate.
Okay, so first of all, one of the main problems that most people have, it's according to my beliefs and my observations. I'm very observant. I like to notice patterns. Is that most women create from the place of familiar. They look at where they are. They don't have money. They don't have opportunities. They feel stuck, and they create from this place of limited possibilities. And when you create from a place of limited possibilities, guess what you get? You have more limited possibilities.
That's right.
And so most people, most women really focus on their limitations, focused on survival. And then when you focus on survival, you create more of survival. You see, I love to study science of consciousness. And I know that we exist we are multidimensional beings. So we exist in a physical world and in an energetic world, in a quantum field. Right. So knowing this, I always have this perspective, not only in terms of, you have to learn how to manage money intentionally. Yes, you have to learn how to invest strategically. But in addition to this, you have to become the person who can be financially independent. Because it's not only about your final destination, it's about the person you become on this journey. So those of you who are listening us right now, I want you to know that where you are right now definitely doesn't define where you can be. Because you, with your critical, self-judging mind, cannot even imagine what possibilities can come your way. When I was depressed and suicidal and broke, I could not even imagine what kind of life I can create. Right. So don't say that it's impossible for me, because you don't know what is possible for you until you start taking this journey. And that's what I think is important. Start taking small steps. Focus on what you want to create. Feel more joy. Notice the abundance that you already have, because you have to experience elevated emotions of excitement, of love, of appreciation, of compassion. Right? So that's how you start. That's where you start. And then things will, synchronicities will happen, like with me, the way I met my husband, second husband, I could not even ever imagine, right? So you see, we're coming back to this. So
making full circle.
So what I'm saying is that possibilities in the quantum field are limitless. And each of us have access to this. We just don't know about this, and we don't know how. And that's what I enjoy helping women with, to find this confidence that it's possible for them and help them with the how.
Yeah. So unlocking that key, that closet door of confidence, and having them to see that there are possibilities. Yeah. So that's great. So hopefully everyone that's listening will understand that, we all have the ability to do what we want to do. We just have to have that confidence to take that first step to get to where we want to be. Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned that you were the creator of the Millionaire Method, which is a holistic system for creating financial freedom. So it says a lot, but really tell us, what is that all about?
Well, I think that, and I alluded to this a little bit, I think that becoming financially independent requires various skill sets, as well as attitudes and philosophy. So basically, you will become a different person. I'm not the same person I was when I was only focused on what was not working in my life, which basically nothing was working in my life at this time. I'm a different person now, right? So that's based on my journey. I created this system, and the system has 4 pillars. One is you've got to develop wealth mindset. So you become a wealth amplifier, wealth creator instead of wealth consumer.
Right.
You also, I think you've got to learn how to manage money intentionally, right? Because if you don't control your money, guess what happens? Money will control you and your life. And I see this again and again. It's so common, especially among women. So that's pillar number 2. Pillar number 3 in my method is that you've got to learn how to invest strategically, because that's how you make your money work for you.
Right.
You know, a lot of high earners who don't have problem making money, they still have to work hard for their to make a living, because they don't make time to learn how to make their money work for them. They don't invest strategically. And I don't like to talk about this get rich overnight schemes. I don't believe in that, right? So I believe yeah, and I know that we're on the same page. I believe that you have to create lasting wealth, and that's how you make your money work for you. So that's my pillar number 3. And pillar number 4, and I guess you probably could guess it from everything that I said, is you've got to be aware and connect to the inner power that you have. We all have this inner power in us. I call it intuition. You may call it higher self. Whatever source, there are different names for this. God. But I want to make sure that women develop this intuition so they can connect to it. They can ask questions. They know that there is some higher intelligence, wiser self that we could connect. I call it practical spirituality. So that's my pillar number 4. Sure. Here you go. You got my Millionaire Method right in number 2 minutes. Well, less than 2 minutes. 1 minute.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So for you, being successful, 10 years financial independent, what is the secret of successful investing?
For me, it's being strategic investor. Strategic investor, because I don't make decisions just to make quick bucks. So I choose investment venues that I don't need to worry about when I invest. So that's what I call strategic investing. It's a long-term investment. It's a diversified investment. You have to hedge your investments. So right now, for example, we just chatted that I just before had a live stream about investing. I do like mini trainings on my page. I talked about investing in gold and silver and why it's so important right now. So knowing what you're doing is a very important aspect of being successful investor. And I'm sure you can relate to this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because guess what? I was on the other side. I had experience when I had no idea what I was doing. So I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's not fun to be on the other side. So thinking about the current environment now, we're in this COVID world, and we're now thinking differently about, our investments, and we're all having to pivot the way that we operate. Why do you think financial education is so much more important today?
Oh, that's such a big question, because our parents lived in a different financial world, completely different. My parents were saying that, cash is king, right? Well, no longer, because, cash used to be backed by gold. Right. Now it's just paper. Now it's just fiat currency. It's just paper.
Just print some more.
And guess what? They can print as many as they want. But you know what? It's not gonna probably end well. So we need to be very mindful about this. We need to be well educated about this. So I also suspect that with all this, craziness in terms of the government debt, that I think it's about 30 trillion now, and growing. It's like a huge pile of debt. If they divide for each person, it probably would be like around 80,000 or maybe more each person. So it's pretty crazy. So we cannot rely on the government. I personally don't know if my social security will be still around when I did this, right? So so we cannot really rely only on traditional ways of providing for our retirement and things like that. That's why I think right now women, like men, they kind of, they don't feel so insecure when it comes to money. I think it's very feminine quality. Like we're born with this. Like we need security.
Right.
And I like to say that, money is not your security. You may be surprised. I believe that you are your security. Money is a resource that
Sure.
you can attain. But if you yourself, if you don't feel confident, if you don't have skills, if you don't believe that you are meant to be well off financially, etc., so it's going to be very challenging. So I just want to say to everybody who is listening now, right now, don't think that because you don't have money, you don't have possibility to be wealthy, to be financially independent, because it's about you. It starts with you. Your wealth starts with you.
Yeah. And that's a great and critical point, because oftentimes people do think, well, I don't have any money, so how can I ever make money? But that's the mentality, or that's the way that, society has created this idea for us that, you need to have money to make money. But that's a great point that, like you said, you can still not have money and still be successful. Just like
Look
people
at me.
can.
I'm a common woman, right? And
Yeah.
like I said before, I was below zero. I was like really in a deep, deep, dark place. So if I could do it, someone who came to the country without even speaking the language, guess what is possible for you? Everything that you can just imagine. So start dreamstorming. Start dreamstorming your life that you want to create.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So hopefully everyone that's listening will start thinking and getting those wheels turning in their minds of things that they want to do and how they can do it. And it is possible. Awesome. Awesome. So, Milan, what one piece of advice that you would like to share with your listeners around this financial independence and, being able to travel, live where you want to live, do what you want to do? What is one piece of advice you would share to everyone?
I have so many. I have to just decide which one. Well, let me say this. Most of us express gratitude for what we have, for our family, for our country, for being healthy, for what we already have.
Right.
It's very, very rare that we express gratitude for what we want to create. And yet, that's the secret of deliberate creation. That's the secret of creating in the quantum field. You have to express appreciation for what you're going to create, what you want to create, what you want to experience. That's how you make this vision that you have for yourself, maybe for your family. You connect to this vision as if it already happened, and you express appreciation. That's how you receive. So one of my mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, says that appreciation or gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. And I believe very much that that's true. So that's one of the advices that I have so many things usually that I want to, I need to give this, and I want them to know this and that. And then I was like, it has to be one, so I have to choose.
But that's a very interesting one, because I never thought about expressing gratitude for what you want. We've always expressed gratitude for what we have. So that's very different. I like that. Express gratitude for what you want. That positive mindset.
As if it already happened.
As if it already happened. Yeah. And that will take time for people to adjust to, because, and even for me, I never thought of that. So, but I can totally relate to that. Express gratitude for what you want, not for what you have. And therefore your mind will start thinking about, I can get this. It's very doable. Great. So Millen, there's tons of coaches out there, all doing different things, but what is the one, or I won't say one, but what makes you so unique and different than most of the other coaches that are out there? So share that with us.
Well, that's my perception, right? I don't know. Maybe there are coaches that do exactly what I do. But number one, I teach what I live, right? I teach what I accomplished. I teach the tools that I use. So that's number one. Number two, I have holistic approach. I believe in holistic approach because I don't want just to teach law of attraction, right?
Right.
So I don't want just to talk about just the mindset or just how to trade and invest or just how to do your budget. I have a holistic approach. That's why I use my Millionaire system to get women from A to Z, because I think that's we are multidimensional beings, like I said at the beginning, and we've got to have multidimensional approach to achieve our goals. So did I answer your question?
It does answer my question. It makes you unique. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that. So for the people that are listening and they may decide, hey, that's what I want. That's something that I'm looking for. Whatever you've said has resonated with who's listening. And if you're listening, put it in the comments or do hashtag if you're watching this on a replay. But what is the best way for people to reach out to you?
Okay, so if anything that you heard maybe triggered you or resonated with you or gave you an aha, I really want to give you this very special opportunity. I want to give you 50 minutes with me, 60, 50, something like that, right? Yeah. One-on-one, private strategy session, financial independence game plan, your financial independence game plan. It's a strategy session with me, absolutely no cost for you. And you can, I can only offer this to two first people who will sign up. And you can find the opportunities to sign up for this schedule at speakwithmilan.com. Speakwithmilan.com. So Milan is with 2 L's, right? Speakwithmilan.com. So if you're interested, just go there, schedule as soon as possible, because my calendar gets booked very, very quickly. Only two first people. So sorry, I don't have more time, but I really want to give this opportunity to those who are serious, who are ready, who are ripe for that kind of opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Awesome. Well, I put it in the comments, and it's www.speakwithmillan2ls.com for the first
Actually,
two people.
It's without W's. It's just speakwithmillan.com.
Oh, just speakwithmillan.com. All right.
I like to keep it simple. Yeah. Just speakwithmillan.com.
Simple is so much better. Absolutely. Okay. I corrected that in there. Awesome. Speakwithmillan.com for the first two people. Great. Any final words for the audience?
Dream big, find your impossible dream, and go for it. That's all.
Well, that's plenty, and that says a lot. And so I so appreciate your time this morning. I think that our listeners have a wealth of information. I learned something new, and I know that they learned something new about financial independence and how it is possible for all women to be successful, be able to live the dream or live the life that they choose to do so without having to always be in that 9-to-5 grind. So Milan, thank you so very much for joining me this morning. It has been truly a blessing to get to know you more personally and know all about what you do and the services that you provide to other women. And it's truly a blessing. And as you said, if you can do it, someone coming from another country, not speaking the language, and still be able to find your dream, follow your passion, then that means that it's possible for all of us who were born and raised in the United States, who speak the language. So we should be able to do this as well. So hopefully people will reach out to you and be able to tap into that opportunity. There's only 2 spots left. So go to speakwithmillan.com and connect with Millan and make your dreams come true. So thank you so much, Millan, and thank you all for joining me this morning. Have a fantastic day, and I'll chat with you next week. Bye-bye.